Okay, looks like I am live. All right. Wow, that was a little easier than I expected. Let's put this bad boy right off to the side. Let me make sure you can't see stuff I don't want you to see, namely my messy ass room. I'm not gonna try and fuck with the camera too much because I just don't want stuff to get messed up. Let's see. Can I initiate questions on my thing? Yes, there we go. Now I can see questions. Okay, you guys, feel free to ask any questions as I go through this review. So let me just say welcome. This is my first little live stream. Basically, I just kind of been working too hard and I just can't seem to find the time to do some editing, choose music, all that sort of stuff. And the figures keep on piling. So I really wanted to show this robot Damashii. It is pretty cool. So that being said, we're gonna go through the review. This is my first time actually opening, or not opening the box, but really looking at the figure. So you're gonna see this brand new figure just like me. You know, we're in the same boat here. On top of that, there's gonna be a little special announcement that I'll be making later after the review, and then you guys can enjoy that. Okay, so without further ado, this is the live Robot Damashii review for the Unicorn Gundam 03 Phenex Destroyer Mode, or Destroy Mode, however you want to say it, narrative version. This bad boy has been released quite a few times, and this version is number 248 in the Robot Damashii line, and I gotta say, I like the box. Has a nice little space motif. The figure is gold, a nice window to show the figure, and everything else inside. Kind of different from what I remember the unicorn being all about, but whatever. That is how it is dealt. Anyways, here is the front of the box. Taking a look at the side, nothing really special, saying 248 in the Robot Damashii line. Taking a look at the back, we just see how badass this figure is in its gold and I guess aqua green kind of color scheme. Is that an aqua green? I can't tell. But in any case, this figure really reminds me of the Tall Geese for some reason. It's probably because of the whips. And yeah, they look really awesome. Of course, we have the figure posed, some of the effect parts on the figure, some of the highlights being the whip and the shield pieces, I suppose, and then some stuff written in Japanese that I just can't understand. So sorry about that. Let's see, what else? Well, the opposite side of the box. We go ahead and see the figure standing nice and tall, and that's pretty much it. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and open this thing up, and yeah, let's see what's. Hope it's not too noisy for you guys watching, whether it's watching with me right now or watching this later when it's posted on YouTube. But here is the figure. It's nicely packed. It's a pretty thin box for a pretty well accessorized figure. So taking it out of the shell, I'm already seeing some stuff I like so far. Ugh. All right, now that that's off, let's go ahead and just take the figure out, get a good look at it first before we start going through all the accessories. And damn, that is a pretty nice gold color scheme. Make sure the lighting's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Anyways, this figure is pretty much what we've gotten before in the retooled unicorn. It's not too different, I guess. It just has a different V fin, and of course the gold color scheme. So yeah, I can't really tell if there's anything different from the original Unicorn Gundam mold and this new narrative Unicorn version 3, whatever you want to call it. Nothing seems to be moving on the back skirt, but yeah, very nice. A lot of good detail. Huh, man. Doesn't feel too cheap. Has a nice little heft to it. All right, let's take out the accessories. Now, I'm only going to take out one of the shield parts, or one of the shields. Mainly, that's just because you get two of them and they're the exact same damn thing, so there's no point. This is pretty new. I've never really seen this or gotten a figure with so much going for it in terms of the shield. Got a lot of moving parts on this. The whip doesn't move. What is this? What's going on here? It does move. Look at that. Okay, it does move. And does it bend? I don't want to test it. I don't want to break it. It looks like it bends a little bit, but it's not your conventional bend. It looks like maybe it's some wire with the plastic pieces over it. So that's cool, I guess. It's something a little bit different, but there is the fear of using it too much, wearing it out, and it might break. So here we get more shield pieces moving around. And I guess, or I suppose this is the regular shield with pieces put on them. Go ahead and fan that out. Oh, looks pretty badass. It's not too bad. Anything opens up? No. Oh, I broke it already. Okay, looks like that's gonna be something. And yep, I fixed it. Cool. So, no, I didn't. All right. So now we got two of those pieces. Let's put those right there. Same thing. How can I check out? Yeah, I just want to make sure that in case anybody messages. All right. I guess not. All right, there we go. All right, more accessories. This is really cool. I haven't seen this in a while. I don't think I have. An extra V-fin. This is hard plastic. This one is hard plastic as well. Okay, whatever. Let me go ahead and lower the camera also. Feel free, again, like I said, to ask any questions, whether they be about the figure or any personal questions. I'm great at advice. Here we have the backpack, extended outward, holds two beam sabers, beam saber hilts. Put that on. Motherfucker, did not want to. There we go. You want to be really difficult on camera and Unicorn? Come on, piece of shit. All right. Looks like you get some connector parts as well. I don't know what this is for exactly, but I'll take out the instruction sheet soon. We also get two beam sabers with removable beam saber effect parts. Yeah, I love those. Looks good. Looks very nice. Kind of short for beam saber hilts. Anyways, there's a lot of little small parts. I don't want to just dump them out. You, of course, get the nice Magnum beam rifle. I think that's what it was called. Pretty cool. Comes out, pops out with a little handle on the side. I really wish the clip would be able to open up and then be able to put a new clip in, but whatever. Just plain plastic right there. All right. I get all these damn hands. Man, there's a lot of little pieces, and I think that's going to be a negative for me and this figure. All right, let's see. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to make this nice and quick, or relatively within a a good amount of time. So here, I think we have some connector pieces. I think these parts are just for the general use of putting them on the forearms with the shields. And this piece, Damashii connector attachment piece. So that's cool to see that again. I'm just gonna dump this out now since there's not so many pieces. Okay, we get two extra beam saber hilts, like so. So you get a total of 4 beam saber hilts and 2 effect parts. And then you get a shit ton of hats. You got some, or hats, hands. You have some open palm hands. You have some beam saber holding hands. Here they are. And I just dropped them. That's kind of something you guys never see in my normal reviews. I usually drop shit all the time. And then I gotta go searching for it. And usually it's under the desk that I film on. All right. Anyways. Puppy hair. Okay. All right. 2 beam saber holding fists. And then we get 2 trigger finger holding fists as well. So that makes 3, 4, including the closed fists that are already on the figure. Let's see. Is that it? That is it for accessories. Okay. Let me lower the camera even more. Sorry, guys. All right. So this figure is pretty cool. Let's go down articulation, because that seems to be the appropriate course here. We get, well, let's start with the head. You can turn it all the way around. full 360, or yeah, full rotation with the head. Nothing's going to scrape against that chin. Nothing's going to scrape against the sides. So that's cool. The arms are at the shoulders, full 360. You can move up the shoulder armor like so. You can move up the arm. You get some bicep bending right there. And yep, you get some double bend in the elbows right there as well. Hands are connected via ball joint. And you can move the shoulders forward a little bit, but not a whole lot. So if you want to get a pose where the Gundam is holding its beam rifle with both hands, one hand on the trigger, one hand on the stabilizing handle, I guess. I don't know. Probably possible. Yeah, looks like it's possible. Moving on to the torso, you get some nice bend forward and not so much of a bend back. So that's decent, I guess. You can kick up like so. You get a double bend in the knee. Does this piece move up? I feel like, yeah, you got some moving parts in the armor. That's pretty cool. So right there you can see where the knee is. The armor does move. A lot of ankle armor that looks like it moves around, but it doesn't. Only this piece does. The toe, you got some toe wiggle a little bit. Yeah, there you go, bending down. The side armor pieces don't move, but you can get some nice ankle pivot. It does seem to get stuck though, the armor pieces. Oh, they do move. They move up and down. So yeah, there's that. Skirt armor, it's on a ball joint on the front and on the sides and on the back. Fortunately, these don't move. You can't really open those up, but that's all right. Other than that, the backpack doesn't move at all. It's pretty much stable. It's one piece of, or one giant piece of plastic and whatnot. So yeah, there's that. All right. Now comes the task of putting these giant fucking shields on the back of this figure, which I knew this was the negative of doing a live review because I don't know how anything fits together, but that is why you have your trusty instruction sheet. Looking at it, it's pretty simple. It's only one side, thank God. Let's see. Backpack, you fit the beam saber hilts on. Extra beam saber hilts you put into the forearm. Let's see. Looks like this piece connects both shields, to which case you can then connect to the backpack. All right, pretty awesome. Looks cool. What else? Yep. And like I said before, these pieces are used, right here, these pieces are used to connect the shield, or both shields, to the forearms. And that is pretty much it. Pretty self-explanatory. So now I'm going to attempt to connect the shields without breaking them again to this piece right here. And it looks like you connected by a ball joint. So you're gonna get some good articulation there. Just remember that this is the front of the piece, the one you want sticking out on the backpack. You're gonna connect the shield parts, or the shields, here until I guess you hear a snap. It's kind of silent. I don't even know if it's really securely on there. Oh, heard that pop. Yeah, it kind of feels like it's not really on there. Okay, that's all right. Then we put this piece on. Okay, so I'm gonna have one shield opened up, and I'll have the other one just kind of closed. Let's have this piece, or these tails, just kind of out of the way. All right, now we gotta connect. Well, let's connect the beam saber hilts on the backpack first. So if you guys were wondering, I got this figure off of Ami, of course. Oh, look, you do get some articulation on the backpack. Whoa, that's pretty cool. All right, looks like you can move around the parts that hold the beam saber hilts. So let's go ahead and see if we can get that on there. Okay, we got one. Let's get the second one. And just remember, guys, yeah, I always get my figures off of Ami. This figure wasn't too expensive. Well, actually it was. I think it was like over 60 bucks, felt like, with shipping and everything. You son of a bitch. Get on there. Wow, it really doesn't want to do that. Looks like some off-camera time for this figure, and there, got it. Okay, have them going opposite. All right, now let's attach this big old shield piece. And I hope I'm putting it on right. I think so. Yep, there it is. All right, doesn't... You bastard. You bastard. Looks like I really did break it a little bit. All right, off camera time. Sorry. But looks like I got... Oh my god. See, that's the thing I hated about these Unicorn Gundams. They always had parts that could easily break off, whether it be on the figure themselves or the weapons. Okay, everything's back in place. It looks like this figure is now securely put together. So not bad at all. There is some weight issues on the back. So if you plan on putting those, let's just call them shield wings, on the figure, you're gonna run into that. So do have a really sturdy display or connector or whatever for this thing. You don't want to fuck up your figure and mess up that nice gold finish on this figure because you just didn't want to take the time and find a nice display base to put this on. Okay, so let's get these hands and other accessories out of the way. And you know what? Let's go ahead and put the beam rifle on. And it looks like the hands are totally connected. Does something move on the beam? Oh, look at that. The bottom piece on the beam rifle handle opens up. Okay, did not know that. Kind of weird, but whatever. That's cool, I guess. Okay, we'll move these pieces as well. And then we're gonna go ahead and let's put the little display table right there. We're gonna have this motherfucker rotate. All right. And just remember, guys, that after this short little review, I'm gonna have a little special announcement for everybody. Okay. Yeah, this guy is definitely gonna be very, very back heavy. And I think that's gonna suck. That's gonna suck a lot. So you gotta be careful, guys. All right, let's raise the camera up a little bit. Okay, now let's go ahead and see how he does rotating. Let's see if he falls. No, he's on there. Well, that's pretty badass. Okay, so let's go over this figure one more time in a more condensed pace. So this figure was pretty expensive, but it is, I think, worth it. It is pretty damn cool. It is cooler than the plain old white or black Unicorn Gundams that came out in the past. This figure does come with some pretty interesting accessories, meaning the tail whips and the shields that go on the back. It is awesome that they went ahead and thought about placing the shields on the forearms as well, so you can do that. You do have that option. So they did kind of think of everything you could possibly do with this figure. But however, it's just really bulky, and it's kind of... I know I said it was more interesting than the plain white Unicorn Gundam or the Banshee, but this Phenex, whatever. This Unit 3 is, I think, a better color scheme than the others. The weapons are pretty much top in terms of interesting as well. Banshee would come second, and then Unicorn probably third, even though he does come in that full armor mode. But whatever, that's besides the point. This figure is pretty cool by itself. However, it's just that price. So if you guys don't mind spending close to $100 on this thing, depending on where you're getting it, then yeah, go for it. But if not, then just go ahead and pass. It's not really a big deal. This figure is sold out on Ami, so you are going to find a hard time getting it from the cheaper websites. So your best bet is probably going to be like Big Bad Toy Store or eBay. But of course, eBay is going to be more expensive, and Big Bad Toy Store is, I think, a tad more expensive than Ami Ami. And of course, there is Hobby Link Japan, but I just, for some reason, I'm not a fan of Hobby Link. I don't know why. But in any case, this is a cool figure. It's kind of worth it if you pay the money, but you know, it's only if you're a big unicorn fan. For me, I just wanted to get it because I don't have too many unicorn figures aside from the bad guy suits. So this is cool. I do hope that they come out with the white Shinanzu, whatever the fuck it is, the other bad guy suit, the white version of Char's suit, or a full funnels suit from the series. But I don't know. They just came out with a high grade version, and that looked okay. But this figure is very, very cool. So go ahead and get it if you want. If not, just pass. So yeah, that is my live review. Sorry this was kind of choppy. Haven't had too much experience going live, so bear with me. I might do this off and on, but for the most part, I want to try and still keep my whole regimen of filming and then editing and adding music, because I like to do that, and having nice little title sequence. I just did this because I just wanted to try something new, and everybody seems to be fucking doing it. God. Now it's time for the special announcement, and this is kind of not really a surprise, but kind of is, I guess. I don't know. So the way I started this channel was I was a Gundam fan, and I had stopped, and then I got back into it and wanted to buy more figures. MSIA were the figures of the day. This is back in 06, 07, maybe a little bit later. But I noticed how MSIA figures were super goddamn expensive. And I'm talking expensive for like one figure, and not like a whole group of figures. So when that started to happen, you know, I was always pretty good with handling money and knowing what the costs of stuff were. And so when I started buying lots of figures, what I would do is I would take whatever figures I wanted from my collection and then resell the figures I didn't want. Some people had a problem with it, and some people didn't. This is back in the day. To that, I don't fucking care. But it was a pretty good, sound strategy. In fact, in one haul, I got pretty much every single MSIA, American and Japanese, in one sitting. It was like $1,000 that I paid. And I got not only all the figures, but their accessories, and I also got some exclusives like, man, what did I get? I got a Psycho Gundam in there. I got the Gun Parry, you know, stuff that's really hard to come by. Only a few years after the series stopped showing on Cartoon Network. So in any case, when I started to buy lots, I started to sell the figures, and then I would kind of determine and find out, you know, how much these figures were really worth. And that's where I started to do reviews. So the way business works is you're only going to get as much money for an item as somebody is willing to pay for it. Meaning, if I spent a certain amount on a lot of figures, then I had to find a good base to where those figures would start at in terms of price when I listed them on eBay. I almost forgot these back pieces move on the back of the legs of the Unicorn Gundam. Anyways, so that's the base, right? So I would always list my figures at $10 per figure. Didn't matter what figure it was. It could be, you know, any G Gundam from around the bin, or it could be a version 2 Gundam Wing figure. So for a while, it was mostly $10 per figure, and then I would let them roll for a week on eBay and see how much people were willing to spend. And usually, after 5 different sales within a couple months period, you realize how much certain figures are worth. So like the version 2 MSIAs were around the $25 to $30 mark, determining what they were, whether they be a wing, a Sandrock, heavy arms, or Epion. Usually 25 to 30, and sometimes even a $35, $40 price range if it was a crazy bidding day. But it was never too crazy expensive. I never really went out of my way to make sure I got, the highest price. So after doing that for a couple years, I started doing reviews. And if you watch some of my old reviews, you notice I talk about the price of what some of these figures were worth. And then it just started to move on. And then I just started to collect Robot Damashii because I finished off all the MSIA and I had to move to something else. Long story short, I kind of just dropped the ball and forgot about selling MSIA figures for a while. And yeah, it was fun, and I got a lot of money from it for adding stuff to my collection and stuff. But when I started to work and find good jobs and stuff like that, I didn't really need to. I was making more than enough to take care of my hobby and whatnot. But recently, I quit my job in search for a better one, and that was back in October. And I'm always planning. I'm always like 2 steps ahead. I knew I was going to quit my job, and so before that year, this was last year, I had already bought some Gundam MSIA lots off eBay. I bought at least $500 worth and whatnot, and had that as my little nest egg to kind of carry me on to, for the time being until I found a new job. Fast forward to now, it's been a month. I've started a new job. I am making way more than I ever did back in my old job. So I have a lot of MSIAs that I was selling. I decided to buy more. After a point, I decided, you know what? I no longer want loose MSIAs, action figures in my collection. I'm just gonna go to straight in box and mint on card. So that brings us to the announcement. Now, I already started doing this, but for those of you who don't know, I am back to selling MSIA action figures. Now, I started slowly. I tried to post on eBay on some of the Gundam forums, and people really, really like to get their figures for the cheapest dollar. And you have a small little group there, so the competition to get those figures isn't really high. So I went back to eBay and I started a new eBay account. So my new seller name is Universal Seller 1969. I'll have a link at one point in my information area on my profile. But yeah, I've gone back to selling MSIA. Now, not only do I have figures that I've bought off eBay, but I am also selling all of the MSIA loose figures that I had in my collection. And it's quite a bit. It is quite a bit. So this is not only regular MSIA, this is some arch enemies, this is some extended MSIAs, this is some version 2 MSIAs, this is all sorts of stuff. You got figures from Gundam Wing, you got figures from the 1 Year War, you got figures from 08th MS Team. I know that's the same universe, but there's different series. So it's a lot of figures. Now, all my figures are mint. All my figures are well documented. So if the figures have an issue with them, they'll be noted in the information or description whenever they're posted on eBay. So that being said, I am letting you guys know, just keep an eye out. I will make more videos showing you guys, like I used to back in the day, what I have for sale that week. Again, my format was usually I would post about 50 figures per month, maybe more, depending if eBay had a little special going. And then, you guys could go at it and, find what you need. And I always allowed buyers to hit me up directly to see if I had any figures that they were just waiting for. So if you guys were looking for any of the Magwana Core figures, which I had somebody hit me up for, shoot me a price. I'm fair. I'm not going to be asking for like, $300 for, the set. It would usually be like $25, maybe $30 at most. And my shipping costs were always pretty low, being at like, $275, $250 per figure. So yeah, that is what I'm doing now. Again, I'll be posting videos whenever I have a sale and letting you guys know. I won't always have just Gundams, MSIA action figures. I'll have some little model kits, stuff I've purchased over the years that I've shown you guys and have reviewed. I'll usually let go and get rid of just to make room for other stuff. So some of the candy toys, like the Dragon Ball Z stuff, um, I'll sell that and whatnot. Um, so yeah, that is what is up. And that's it. So I hope you guys like this little announcement. I hope you guys found some amusement out of this live review. And again, I will be doing another video to talk about the sales and going through again just, how the process and whatnot. And yeah, that's it. So guys, thanks for watching. Hit like, dislike, subscribe. You know what? I'm getting up there in terms of subscribers. So if you can, just hit subscribe if you haven't already, or share my channel. Do whatever. I always try and just show you guys what you're there to see, which is the figure. I'm not trying to come at you any sort of special way. I have a nice little opening sequence. I show the figure. I talk about what, any fan would want to know about the figure. And I do my best to answer any questions that come up in the comments down below. So that being said, again, thanks guys for watching, and please to enjoy